So I guess I'm not gonna get to fucking have my fucking way with this bottle tonight like I'm supposed to, because somebody's DDoSing me. You think so? Why is PlayStation Network signing me off internet? It was very strange that I was just talking about how delicate I have to be with their system, and then they shut my ass down.
Yeah, Beetlejuice, return of the fucking piano mic, but...
Yeah, he was like, I'm not piano
That's
mic.
why I
Everybody
made a comment
keeps calling
about...
me piano mic.
That's why I made a comment about Booton in Yorkshire, and he fucking went really quiet, because that's where they get their brain from. YouTube, Booton, Yorkshire, it's all the special people. There's a village of special people. You know,
So he knew that.
And they live there. That's where he lives. The special people.
You need to sell your home and save up some money and get a fucking houseboat.
Plenty of canal boats around here.
How cool would that be, man? Live on a houseboat.
No,
I mean, you guys got those weird channels that go everywhere. We don't have those here. Only you guys have those.
Yeah,
they're
we have
still functional.
Europe have it as well.
It's like they took the Irish and the Scottish and they forced them to build these giant aquifers to push your boats around. It's quite incredible.
To transfer goods back in the day when we didn't have fucking...
And what were the goods back in the day? Fucking opium and fucking cabbage.
Nah, it'd be coal and fucking shit like that. Well, obviously no one uses coal anymore.
It's bacon season again. And the bacon has gone bad.
Where's the... mate, I tried that 50 fucking shit. I can't find it.
How is it that hard for you to find? If it's not up, I have another server that I'm pretty well set up on. Pretty well set up on. I don't know. So, some more Mexicans invited me to their thing, and like some guy was fucking with me, right? And I was afraid he was gonna kill me or whatever, right? So I jump on one of their dinosaurs and I just bolt. I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. I was being cool and just doing my thing, trying to cut down wood and gather things, and this guy starts fucking with me, starts speaking to me in Spanish, starts hitting me like, hey, Luton, fuck you, dinosaur, run!
No, the only one I'm getting is ED.
They're gonna wipe our server in like 3 days. Everything we built will be gone. Number one, we have no defense. And even if we did have defense, we wouldn't want it standing outside the walls. We wouldn't have them inside the walls. Kinda outside the walls, maybe, you know. I don't know, I'm not really sure. It'd probably take a bit of trickery to really fuck them. Like what you built today was pretty interesting because it was quite the maze. They had to run all throughout it, and a maze is good. birds, we can put gun turrets on the inside, and they won't even know that we have gun turrets. They'll walk in like, hey, there's a gun turret over there, we gotta go blow it up. It might take out one person or a dinosaur, but, you know, gun turrets will take out dinosaurs. But like I said, like we have all these birds. If I put all of their health at maximum, but it's not PvP, but it's going to be PvP, as they say. I don't know if they can, but I guess they can. They're going to switch it from PvE to PvP come Sunday. So Sunday will be the day to defend the base. The day that the next Game of Thrones comes out. But you don't watch Game of Thrones, do ya, you dirty little Englishman? I don't get it, dude. You like Lord of the Rings. They're like all English. Fucking Game of Thrones is all English, but you don't watch it because why?
Because it's shit.
Because it's shit? Because it's shit, Joe. You just called the most entertaining thing to come out of England in the last 100 years shit.
Ireland.
It's not violent enough for you, huh?
No, Ireland. Ireland. That's where they film it.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with that? Scotland's earned their freedom against you cunts.
Yeah, but they always want more than they.
Well, they are better than the Irish. If we were to speak bluntly. Let them DDoS me now, you know? Fuck them. I'm in a party with you and they're not DDoSing me. Do they, like, not know what's going on, or do they give up?
They're bored.
You watching me on your cell phone?
Yeah, because...
Yeah, you're right there. Chest and all. Look at my man boobies. You like that, don't you? Wake up, Kaz. I know she likes this. Oh my god. So where's Kaz? Is she like sleeping with Harry or what?
She's in the bed fingering something.
Fingering herself to Harry's moans. Oh my god. I'm sure you can come up with a better joke than that. Because you have to live with it. Not me. I only have to put up with it.
Yeah, that server's not working.
If I'm still alive and Harry's somewhat grown up, I'm going to say, Harry, you were such a little shit when you grew up. You were always moaning into the microphone. So fucking annoying, man. Look. Your father has videotape of this. Harry, look at me. Luke, I am your father. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make fun of your son, but he is kind of fun to make fun of. Not in a bad way. Just, you know.
Well, if he gets childhood dementia,
What you really gotta hope for is that the other kids, when he goes to school, don't fuck with him. He needs a bodyguard. Now, you've got other kids. Maybe they could, like... No, they're a little too old. Huh? Well, most brothers and sisters separate after a long time. You would do well to, like, move. Go to some weird part of England where there's, like, fucking... Do you have the Amish over there in England?
No.
No Amish, huh?
Just a place called Moose.
Ah! I just put a lit cigarette in my hair. Dude, a place called Booten Shootin'.
Booten, Yorkshire.
Booten, Yorkshire.
They're into bread.
Yeah, what's so special about their bread? You know, it's harvested by hand, and then what? What kind of bread is it? Is it sourdough? Do they make sourdough? Sourdough is my favorite kind of bread on the fucking face of the earth. Better than garlic. What's your favorite bread? What's your favorite bread, Johnny? The fuck are you talking about? Harry! Wake up, Harry! So I'm guessing there's not a lot of rooms. Oh, he left the motherfucking party. I'm all alone now. I've just about filled up that cup. I'm gonna start with this bottle next. Maybe I'll even re-drink it. Fuck it. That could have went better. Ah, dude. Yeah. I just lubricated my balls. That's not gonna smell nice in the morning. Great. My goal for the morning is to get up, take a shower, wash my underwear. Jeff Daniels, America isn't so great. Jeff Daniels, America speech.
According to YouTube.
Daniels, who portrays his anger rapidly in the HBO series The Newsroom, delivers.
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is
It's not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes. Let's talk about... Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of her paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so smart, how come they lose? I'm always. Hey. And with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yet you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the you're talking about. Yosemite? Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough? Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium. Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom. All right. And yet you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a... You're saying yes. Let's talk about fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so smart, how come they lose? I'm always. Hey, and with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom. All right. And yet you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the f you're talking about. Yosemite? Sure used to be.
Back when Tupac died.
We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people.
I have to disagree. War has been struck with poor people for a very long time. For example, marijuana. For the longest of time, I figured, well, shit, I can smoke tobacco, but I can't smoke marijuana, but I can drink this, and, you know, and now it's legal, pretty much, and I can't stop. I suppose I could if I had my own plants and so on. I know I can grow. I know I can grow very well. Now it's finally being legalized, but not in every state. God forbid if it was legal in every state. These are the states that everyone is going to choose to give trouble to. I mean, I would. I'm already done. Trump is elected. My job is fucking done. You would think. But we all know what I really, really, really want to do. Give me some land and see how I make it work. I bet I could work some land very well. So all I'm asking for is a little chance to be a farmer. I could grow all kinds of shit. Well, not all kinds of shit, but for a season I could. For one season. Give me some genetically altered. And that's one thing that they have failed to do. Corn on the cob is pretty much all corn. All corn grown in the United States is genetically altered to be yellower, and it's strange. It's very strange. Yeah, I'm sure they probably spray it with pesticide, but I also think these plants have pretty much evolved into having their own pesticide. That's why you have the leaf that goes over the corn, so on and so on. These things have been around long before anyone else. I mean, corn might be the oldest thing around. Might be, but probably not. To my knowledge, mussels in the ocean are the oldest living thing on Earth. Sure, it doesn't have a brain, it doesn't know what it can do, but they are old. Sure older. I'm not as old as the alligator. The alligator is the oldest living lizard on the face of the fucking planet. You can tell me sharks are older. I say bullshit. Alligators are older. Nobody can date back to when sharks and alligators first. I guess sharks would come first. Can you imagine what sharks look like? I mean, it probably wasn't even a shark. It was more of some weird looking fucking parasite thing. I don't know. I'm just dying to get high again, but now I'm drunk. I don't think I can do it. They were giants. Well, the world was, well, it was never really all water. I mean, in a way, you can see it. When you look on the mountaintops, you can totally tell the watermarks. But when these great mountains used to sit above sea level, hundreds and millions of years ago, have you seen the movie Life? Very good movie. The ending is what really gets you. At one time, we evolved from the sea to some lizard toad thing, and that turned into a warm-blooded creature, and the list goes on and on and on. At one time, we were something that looked like a pack rat, and that turned into a monkey, and then you have us. Now, to this day, well, scientists assure us that it comes from natural evolution. That is the most plausible theory. But I just do not want to believe it. I'd like to believe that aliens came down and fucked the monkeys. I like that theory better. Why would they want to have sex with chimpanzees and so on? It's beyond me, but they did. There's a missing link, though. They are really, they've never found. Yeah? Have you looked up the Star Child on YouTube? Now, I've looked this up in every way possible. Some say it's a hoax, some say it's not. The Star Child. The Star Child. The Star Child.
According to Wikipedia, the Star Child's skull is part of a malformed human skull which paranormalist Lloyd Pye had claimed is of extraterrestrial origin.
In early 2010, a team of geneticists in America began DNA testing on possibly the strangest looking skull ever discovered. Whilst trying to recover its nuclear DNA and matching it against the National Institute of Health database, they found a significant number of coherent base pairs that had never been seen before. This was an historic moment for science, as it proved beyond all reasonable doubt that part of the skull's DNA is not human. Since that result, the geneticists have predicted that when the final genome recovery is complete, it will provide science with the first record of alien DNA ever discovered. The skull's caretaker is Lloyd Pye. Lloyd, a researcher in aspects of human origins, named it the Star Child. It was found in Mexico in the 1930s, and through carbon dating, we know that the skull is over 900 years old. It has over 24 major physiological differences to that of a human.
These are the cuts in the skulls for DNA testing, and you see that the Star Child, when I've been saying it's half as thick, you see very clearly here. In some points, it's even less than half. And this is, in the skull. So, there's just no exaggeration there. There's a complete difference in the bone throughout. Uniformly, it's different.
This is the biochemistry of a typical human bone. Its calcium and phosphorus levels are high, and its oxygen and carbon levels are low. But with the Star Child, it's quite different. The The phosphorus is down and the carbon and oxygen are up, indicating its biochemistry is more like tooth enamel than regular bone.
This is a scanning electron microscope view of the bone, and this is the way bone is created. You have the cortical layer here, and in here the cancellous holes where the bone marrow moves. And coming out of some of the cancellous holes, but also embedded in the matrix of the bone, are these fibers, these very durable, strange fibers that nobody's ever seen before. They're in no other species, and we don't really know what they are, but we just know that they're really durable because the Dremel blade that cut this through here did not cut cleanly these different fibers. That tells you they have a high resistance factor to the blade.
It lacks frontal sinuses, has smaller chewing muscles, and is missing an inion. Instead, its neck connects on top of its frame and magnum opening, indicating that its neck is about half the size of a normal human neck.
And here we see one clearly embedded in the matrix of the bone on the surface. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And you know what science says about this? You probably dropped it on a carpet and it picked up carpet fibers. You know, I mean, really, that is the answer that I get. It has to be just fibers off a carpet or something. This can't be, it really can't be in the world of mainstream science, but there it is.
This is a piece of upper right maxilla that was found with the Star Child. When one of the teeth was extracted, it was found to have very heavy roots, indicating it was an adult when it died. When the maxilla was x-rayed, a staggering 5 more teeth were discovered, waiting to come down.
The key is that normal human bone, when you die, there are bacteria in your body that scour and eat every bit of your marrow out, and they leave your bone polished, shining, just like this, just like you see. You could eat out of that, just like the bacteria did. It's so clean. There is no marrow left anywhere, and this is the way it is with all animals when they die. With the Star Child, we see a big difference. And we also see a difference in the color too. It's much more milkier than that alabaster look of the human bone because it's got so much more collagen. But you see this red residue here sprinkled everywhere. We don't know what that is. Never seen it before, and it's not in any other species. It's not blood because when blood oxidizes, it's not our blood anyway, or our type blood, because when blood oxidizes, it turns black. So if that was bone marrow, that would be black. So those two things, the fibers and the residue, are just unknown in anything else. And here they sit in the Star Child, both of them, and yet science just says, you know. And this is what they say. This is what you need to understand about science, and all of these physiological differences that I've just pointed out, they mean nothing to mainstream science. They mean nothing. In January of this year, a geneticist contacted me out of the blue, and he said, I think you really might have something. And he said, if you send me a sample, I will take a new technique, a new shotgunning technique, which recovers much smaller pieces than the old primer technique. So he took it. About 6 weeks later, he got back in touch with me and he says, you're really not going to believe what's happening here. I don't believe it. I've done it enough times now to where I'm convinced that I'm doing it right, and we're getting some very unusual results. Some of it comes out human, sure enough. You see right here, this sequence of 265 base pairs long, 265, no question about it, part of the Star Child is human. Except, next slide, some of the Star Child's DNA comes back with this incredible reading. No significant similarity found. 342 base pairs long. It's a coherent base pair sequence not found in the NIH database. I said, well, what's the answer? And he says, well, it could be, and here's where we go off the deep end, it could be that it's an alien, entirely an alien, born to a human mother. And I said, what? How would that happen? How would you get a pure alien born to a human mother? So he made up a slide for me and sent it to me. And he said, Now, understand, this is happening today. This is happening today. If a human female has mitochondrial disease, which means that her mitochondria are bad and are going to produce very, very flawed and dead children for the most part. If it's found out that she has that and she wants to have a child with her mate, her husband, what they can do is they can take her package, put it in a dish, you've heard about this, and mix it with her husband's sperm and create a zygote with her chromosome package and her husband's chromosome package. Then they take an egg, a good egg from a third party, a woman, take that woman's chromosomal package out, put the zygote in, put that egg in the first woman, and she will have a baby that will be her and her husband's genes, but it will have the mitochondria of the third woman. So he said we could have the same thing. You'd have two aliens getting together, making a zygote, and for whatever reason, taking the chromosomal package out of a female egg, putting it in, and then she will bring it to term, and it's a full alien, nothing but alien DNA in it, but it has her human mitochondrial DNA. Now, why? Why would they do that? We don't have any idea. We know this is a radical thing to say. We know that it's going to be met with a lot of resistance because it's going to prove that we don't just have a hybrid between a human and an alien 900 years ago. We have clear genetic engineering, clear evidence of genetic engineering 900 years ago. It's a much bigger pill for science to swallow, and it's also going to cause a much bigger revolution in thinking among everybody because it's going to be very hard to wrap minds around this. But this is where we are. This is what we think we can do. This is what we know we can do. We're now in the process of trying to get the money to start the process of sequencing the whole genome, because when you sequence the genome, at the end of that period, it's only about 3 to 4 months. From the time you start, 3 to 4 months, you have an answer. And you have a general idea of what that percentage is going to be, whether it's 15%, 20%, whatever. You can do it within, say, 5 points of error, just recovering the whole genome. And then you have the period of 8 to 12 months where they're going to have to fine-tune it and figure out all of the unknown parts. And then they'll be able to say within a margin of error of 1 or 2% what the difference is.
Plausible and very logical to think that before we became Homo sapiens, we started off as other things such as Neanderthals, and I think aliens may have came and helped probably even before the Neanderthal stage. They made sure we got as smart as we did, and here we are now. my belief that they could do at that time they could do not much less than arrive at that time, seeing into the past. Does that make them capable of time travel? Kinda. It breaks Einstein's theory that traveling into the past is impossible. Why should it be impossible if you can see it through a telescope? I mean, is it the chances are 1,000,000,000 to 1 that somewhere far away, maybe even at one time, we are being watched. And hearing stories of extraterrestrial encounters, they sound very much like us, except smarter. This is why I think the extraterrestrials, or whatever, are just us from the future, except with perfect machinery. When we finally learn how to make machines do everything we want them to, time travel, I still disagree that time traveling back in time is impossible, but it is not impossible to see back in time and travel to the future. traveling into the future is totally possible. Totally. Because we do it here on this planet all the time, just in a fragment of a scale. Fragments on the scale, you know what I mean. I need to make some food. I'm thinking soup and bread, maybe soup and toast. Possibly with some asparagus to flush out my kidneys. And when I drink when I eat asparagus, I do it like nobody else. I drink every last drop of juice. Even though I fry it in butter, I don't care. Salt it down a little bit. A little garlic. Makes it pretty fucking good. So I think that's what I'm fixing to do. Which one would you rather see? binary code for the human DNA.
it's just a mirage. 'Cause you never know. Maybe things have changed. Storm clouds fast take their wings. Now wait for spring to come. How long? Tell me how long. 'Cause I wither at my post. I'm walking like a ghost alone. How long? Tell me how long. How long? Out of the darkness, only light can come. After a lonely, long night comes the sun. Out of the darkness, only light can come. After a lonely, long night comes the sun. Out of the darkness, only light can come. After a lonely, long night comes the sun. Out of the darkness, only light can come. After a lonely, long night comes the sun. Tell me where life goes in such a rush. Like that melted snow